So, the writings of Rabash concerning the importance of friends. Seeing as one is always around people who have nothing to do with... Wait, this is the wrong article. Shaul, can you read for a second?
Since people's thoughts are influenced from one another, it follows that the views of those who oppose the path of truth enter into those who have a little bit of passion to walk on the path of truth. Therefore, there is no other counsel except for them to determine for themselves a society in order for them to have a framework. And this is the matter of having a separate community that does not mix with other people who have different views than the one in that society. And each and every time they have to awaken themselves the matter of the purpose of the society so that they will not be drawn after the many. Because this is nature, so is nature that we are drawn after the majority. Because if the society insulates itself from other people, meaning that they have no connection with other people regarding spiritual matters, rather all of the contact with them is only regarding corporeal matters, then they do not mix with their views, since they have no connection with them regarding religious matters. Whereas, when a person is among religious people, and he starts to talk and to argue with them, then immediately he mixes up with their views. And beneath the threshold of his awareness, their views penetrate into his thought, so much so that he won't be able to understand that these are not his own views, rather whatever he received from those people that he connected with. This is why we never enter into any kinds of arguments with religious people, even philosophers, politicians, no matter whom, right? We do not start any arguments with them and no connection. We only come in order to tell them about our agenda, only that. What is it that we study from the wisdom of Kabbalah? What does the wisdom of Kabbalah say about this? But to listen to what he says, I don't want that. To argue with him, I don't even want that even more, with no one. Whoever I met, philosophers, politicians, religious people of all kinds, from different religions, I never argued with them. I just tell them, yes, yes, and as quickly as possible, I stop this whole thing. I came there only to this meeting, let's say, in order to tell them the view of the wisdom of Kabbalah, only that.
Therefore, in matters of work on the path of truth, one should isolate oneself from other people. This is because the path of truth requires constant strengthening, since it is against the view of the world. The view of the world is knowing and receiving, whereas the view of Torah is faith and bestowal. If one strays from that, he immediately forgets all the work of the path of truth and falls into a world of self-love. Only from a society in the form of, quote, they helped every man his friend, end quote, does each person in the society receive the strength to fight against the view of the world. This is the article concerning the importance of society, by the way. Also, we find the following in the words of the Zohar, quote, when a person dwells in a city inhabited by evil people and he cannot keep the commandments of the Torah and does not succeed in the Torah, he relocates and uproots himself from there and plants himself in a place inhabited by good people with Torah and commandments. This is because the Torah is called a tree. As it is written, she is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her. And man is a tree, as it is written, for is the tree of the field man. And the commandments in the Torah are likened unto fruit. And what does it say? Only the trees of which thou knowest that are not trees for food, them thou may destroy and cut down. Destroy from this world and cut down from the next world. End quote. For this reason, one must uproot himself from the place where there are wicked people, for he will not be able to succeed there in Torah and commandments. And he should plant himself elsewhere, among the righteous. Then he will succeed in Torah and commandments. And man, whom the Zohar compares to the tree of the field, suffers like the tree of the field from bad neighbors. In other words, we must always cut down the bad weeds around us that affect us. And we must also keep away from bad environments and from people who do not favor the path of truth. We need a careful watch so as to not be drawn after them. This is called isolation. When one has thoughts of the single authority, called bestowal, and not the public authority, which is self-love. This is called two authorities or two domains, the domain of the Creator and one's own domain. Now we can understand what our sages said, quote, Rav Yehuda said, Rav said, Adam HaRishon was a heretic, as it is written, and the Lord God called unto man, and said unto him, Where art thou? Where has thine heart gone? End quote. And Rashi interprets, heretic refers to a tendency towards idol worship. And in the commentary Etz Yosef, it is written, quote, when it is written, where has thine heart gone? It is heresy, as it is written, that you go not after your own heart. This is heresy, when his heart leans towards the other side. End quote. But all this is very perplexing. How can it be said that Adam HaRishon was inclined towards idolatry? According to the Etz Yosef commentary, he was in the form of, quote, that ye go not about after your own hearts, end quote. Is it heresy? According to what we learn about the work of God, that it is solely about the aim to bestow, if a person works in order to receive, this work is foreign to us, for we need to work only to bestow. And he took everything in order to receive. This is the meaning of what he said, that he failed in, quote, go not after your own hearts, end quote. In other words, he could not take the eating from the tree of knowledge in order to bestow, but received the eating from the tree of knowledge in order to receive. This is called heart, meaning that the heart wishes only to receive for self-gratification. And this was the sin of the tree of knowledge. To understand this matter, see the introduction to the book Panim Masbirot, and from this we can understand the benefits of the society. It can introduce a different atmosphere, one of working only in order to bestow.